Hi everyone, thanks for watching. I'm Lauren, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you the live recording of the question and answer session that I did on the Instagram platform on Monday the 9th of May. So I'll be answering your questions that you've sent in beforehand, asking for advice and tips about your sewing and dressmaking projects, and then also giving you lots of inspiration with fabric and pattern pairings. I've got a gorgeous selection of fabrics out from the shop to show you in this video, so I'm sure lots of ideas will be had. Be warned, your to make list might get a little bit longer. So you'll see me just reading the comments as they come in live during the video, just so you've got a little bit of context about what people are asking and what people are suggesting. If you do have a question that you'd like me to answer in a following session, then feel free to leave a comment here on YouTube, or you can also email the shop as well. I can put a link to, or the details of how to do that in the description to this video. So I'll switch over to the live recording now. I hope you enjoy it and I'll see you shortly. Hi everyone, Monday the 9th of May here, another evening to chat through all of your lovely sewing and dressmaking fabric questions. So thanks to those of you that are joining live, hello. And if you live in the UK and maybe you've had an extra bank holiday today or day off, hope you've had a nice time. Nice rainy, typical weather for a bank holiday. So yeah, it always makes you a bit confused about what blooming day of the week it is. Spent most of today thinking it was Sunday. But here we are, it's Monday night. So I'm back in the shop again to answer all of your questions. I've got loads of fabrics out tonight, so lots of things to show you. I'm sure you'll find it very inspiring, some new things as well. So yeah, feel free to chip in a question as I'm chatting, and I will try and keep up with them as best I can. Sometimes if I don't know them off the top of my head, I might just ask you to send me a direct message, and then I'll add it to my list another time if I need to do a little bit more research into it. Lovely to see where everybody's from, thank you. Hi everyone, hello. Somebody's saying I love your top, thank you. So I thought I'd wear this tonight because the fabric is now back in stock. It's sold out really quickly 2 times, and now we've got it back in stock again, and hopefully it should last a little bit longer. It has been popular over the weekend, but I checked before we started and we do still have some in stock. So this is my Fibremood Nona blouse, which I have done a reel about as well, because I changed the pattern very slightly, made the sleeves longer and made the bodice longer so I could tuck it in, and then I also added a centre back pleat, but yeah, I've got a reel on that which's got all the details on it. But it's in the yarn tufted Adobe cotton fabric, and it's £13.80 a metre. And I wanted to pull the roll over to show you, because a lot of people do ask about lining fabrics and if fabrics are sheer or not, and if they're see-through. And I wanted to just sort of show you, you know, when you like see a fabric on, in this case the roll, you know, you can sort of get an idea for the sort of weight of it. It is quite fine. It's a, you know, I would say it's a pretty lightweight cotton. It's got that lovely sort of slubby texture and it's really nice. I actually think you could also choose what way you want it to be the right size. I chose the more kind of fluffy side, which some people might think is maybe more like the back, but I feel like the spots stand out a little bit more that side, but you could have it the other side if you wanted. But yeah, you know, I would say it's probably like a little bit more in the sheer side, but you know, this is it made up. I've not lined it or anything. This is just what the fabric's like. Obviously I've got a white brow on underneath, but I think, you know, it's just like a nice lightweight fabric. So, you know, in terms of it being for a top or a blouse, I'm fine without it being lined. I guess probably easiest thing would be to just wear a little camisole underneath it if you did feel like you wanted some more coverage. But yeah, it's finally back in stock, so grab it while it's here, because I'm not sure if after this batch we'll be getting any more. And then the other fabric that was really popular before, which has come back in stock, I ended up cutting a little bit from the roll because the roll was so wobbly I couldn't even hold the roll up, but it's this one here. So it's Adobe spot again, and it's a bit more brighter colour. So there's a pink, a blue, a green, light pink and a dark pink, a yellow. And yeah, again, you could choose the side, so either have the more sort of fluffy doby side as the outside of the fabric or the other way around. So this one is the Candy Sprinkled Doby Weave Blended Fabric. It's 82 cotton, 15 polyamide, which I'm suspecting is maybe the threads, the coloured threads. And then interestingly, it's got 3% elastane, so it does mean it's got a little bit of a stretch in it. I would definitely still be classing this as a woven. Use it for woven garments. Use like a you don't need to use a ballpoint needle on it. You're not going to be treating it like a stretch garment, even though it's got elastane in it. So yeah, this looks really nice, and it's a bit more crisp than this one. I'd say it probably holds its structure maybe like a little bit more. It's really good for shirts, and you know, if it's got like a collar, button stand, placket, that kind of thing, it'll iron and press really crisply in that. I've just put that one in my basket. Oh, great minds. Let's see, I've got 2 meters of indigo double gauze check. What would you make with it? Probably just quite a simple top, to be honest. I think maybe like the assembly line cuff top or the Tilly and the Button Stevie. Not too many crazy check matches to happen there. Are the buttons you used for the blouse from the shop? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we should have some of them in stock. They were actually buttons that we had in a kit last year, but we had some left over. They're recycled, I think they're recycled cotton buttons. I can't remember the official name off the top of my head, but yeah, they are ones that we had in the shop. Have I missed any other ones here? Okay, so yeah, they're both back in stock. And then the other fabrics that I wanted to show you, which are very similar to a fabric that we used for the hinterland kit, the Soul Liberated hinterland dress kit last summer? I lose track of the years. This is the navy yarn dyed check linen viscose fabric. It's 55 linen and 45 viscose. Is 15.90 a metre. So it's got these gorgeous big gingham checks on it, and yarn dyed, as in that the checks are woven into the fabric, so it's kind of like there's no right or wrong side. It looks the same on both sides. It's you know, it's nice and lightweight. You can see it's quite floppy, and yeah, just a really lovely, nice sort of statement gingham. So you can still get the top tips video that I did to go with that kit, and it talks a lot about check matching and pattern matching. So if you wanted a little bit of help with the check matching, then you can check out that video. So we've got it in the navy, and then also my absolute favourite, no surprises here for what colour it is, we've also got it in pink as well. So this is the rose yarn dyed check linen viscose fabric, and I have to admit I have snuck a little section of this away. I washed it over the weekend. I'm not sure what I'm going to make with it yet, but I just absolutely love the colour. I think it's really nice. So yeah, another lovely large scale check there. And then the other new ones that I wanted to show you were a couple that are from the Fibremood magazine. Now unfortunately, when I came over to the shop, I couldn't actually find our copies of the Fibremood magazine. I don't know whether we've actually sold out of them all, so I can't even tell you what this is made in the Fibremood magazine, but it is one that is in it. Let me just open that out a little bit. This is a gorgeous, really sort of abstract kind of painterly one. Let me open out a section so you can see lots of the different colours. So this one is the Sherbert Splash cotton fabric. It's 100% cotton. I would say it's probably thicker, maybe a bit more like a poplin, but it's not a really thick poplin. It's almost like between a poplin and a lawn. I feel like it's a bit thicker than a lawn, but it's really nice, really soft, got a very smooth surface to it, and will be very crisp. It'll press really nicely, it'll hold its shape a little bit more but still feel really lightweight, so gorgeous for nice sundresses or little sort of tops and blouses. So yeah, we've got that one. The roll is also very floppy, so I might actually just lower it to the floor before it attacks me. And then we've also got this one, which is another one that is in the Fibremood magazine. This is the Tangerine Dream Eco Vero Viscose, so it's 100% viscose, and it's this lovely bright orangey colour and with these gorgeous little pops of blue. It's really lovely, and as a plain weave, so just like quite a smooth surface. It's not a twill or a crepe or anything, so just nice smooth flat surface there, and you can see that it's quite floppy too. So again, it's going to be nice in fabrics that have got garments rather that have got a lot of fullness, maybe a lot of gathers, it will drape and sort of swish beautifully in those kind of styles. And then of course we've got some of the new Atelier Brunette collection, so you can see my little summary reel about them as well. 3 colours of this one here. I'll hold them all up so you can see. So a nice greeny one, a black, and then that sort of chestnut it's called at the top. So it's a 60% viscose, 40% cotton, and they're all 20.70 a metre. So this one's got quite a bit of texture to it. It's really nice. And given how much viscose is in it, I'm actually surprised at how much sort of structure it's got, to be honest. Usually things that have got viscose in them tend to be really quite floppy and very drapey and swishy, but I would say this one does hold its shape a little bit more. So if you are looking for a garment that's got a little bit more structure to it and going to hold the shape of the garment, then it is a really nice one for that. Am I missing any questions here? Cotton poplin will give a boxy shape rather than follow the body's contours. Yeah, definitely. I love the Be Happy card behind you, just like the wee labels I bought. Yeah, so they're the same. They are like blown up versions of the little woven labels. What clothing would you recommend for an 11-year-old beginner to sew? Probably just like a little skirt. It could even just be like a little elasticated waistband skirt, so it's like literally kind of like a rectangle that they're making. Would you ever do kits for kids' clothes? Takes me ages to cut out stuff for myself. Possibly, I'll bear that in mind. That's pretty and would look fab in a shirt and tunic length. Yeah, definitely. Okay, do you have any quilted fabric in stock? I think we do have a little bit left of the Mind the Maker Thelma quilted fabric. It's like a water repellent one for making jackets. Shame because that watercolour splashes fabric is beautiful. Okay, so I've lost the context of that one now. I remember my first project was a wee apron. Oh yeah, that's cute. Okay, so the rest of the Atelier Brunette collection, these two are a viscose crepe. So they've got like a little bit more of a sort of textured surface to them. I would say for a crepe, they're actually not too textured. Crepes can definitely quite vary. Some are more textured than others. I would say these aren't particularly textured for a crepe. It's the domino and ochre, and then like a really nice sort of bright magenta one as well. So because they're viscose, they're going to be really floppy, nice and swishy, very floaty, very drapey. And then these ones here are cotton. So I wouldn't say they're like a fine cotton lawn. The weave is like a little bit sort of looser, and the threads are probably a bit thicker than some other cotton lawns, but it gives them a really lovely texture. They're really nice and lightweight. Gorgeous sort of purpley lilac-y one there, which is really nice, and then this one that's got the little pops of magenta in it as well. I'm loving all the bright pinks that are in the Atelier Brunette fabrics at the moment. So these ones are the Hopscotch Divine. So yeah, a couple of colourways of that one, and then finally, I'm making a little bit of a mess here, we've got these stripes in 3 different colours here. So these are described as a viscose modal. So they are really nice, very, very soft. They're very, very floaty and drapey, double-sided, you know, the stripes woven into the fabric. You wouldn't need to line them at all. I don't think they're sheer. And all the stripes are almost like a bit of a sort of chambray effect, not like a solid block of colour. So I think they're really nice, and would look gorgeous for tops and shirts and dresses. You could alter the direction of the stripes. I think that would look gorgeous. Very nice and lightweight for summer. So yeah, 3 gorgeous colourways there. So that was those new ones that I wanted to show you. And then we've also had a new colourway of the viscose linen, but I've got that out to answer another question, so I'll come back to that one later. Hi Lauren, do you have any cotton fabric suitable for chinos? I don't know off the top of my head if we've got any left in stock, but if you look for the sanded twill, that's really good for chinos. That's a non-stretch one. And we do also have stretch cotton twill if it's a pattern that needs a little bit of stretch. Can you recommend a t-shirt pattern with loose sleeves, not tight fitting? I bought your green flowery pattern t-shirt fabric. I'm wondering which pattern to use. I'm actually making a little t-shirt at the moment. It's a free pattern. It's the Closet Core Tee. And it's a really nice little sort of looser fit t-shirt that's just nice, simple, basic, and yeah, it's free as well. So you need to go to the Closet Core website to get that one. Okay, so in terms of the questions that were sent in beforehand, a couple of sort of points that were on the YouTube comments in response to some of the questions that were asked last week. Somebody was asking about a pressing cloth and if it needs to be anything special, and somebody suggested using organza, and somebody said just make sure that it's silk organza for a pressing cloth and not polyester. Obviously the polyester one would probably melt, so silk organza if you're going to use organza for a pressing cloth. I just use a regular bit of cotton, a cotton lawn or medium weight cotton works fine for me. And then also somebody was asking for iron recommendations, so this is a little bit of a story of somebody's iron recommendation. I got tired of expensive domestic irons that had to be filled up several times every session and would leak in less than a year. I got a Silver Star gravity feed iron, less expensive than the Ronetta, and I love it. You need a place to hang the water tank, so that's a bit fussy, but I fill it up only every 2 months or so. Wow. The steam is excellent, 2 years in, and it's one of my favourite sewing tools. So yeah, another recommendation there on the steam iron front. Okay, so tips that were sent in beforehand. Any tips on gathering fabric evenly? Whenever I try to gather anything, it just seems really uneven. So I would say when you come to gather, there are lots of different ways that you can gather fabric as well. I tend to just do the kind of bog standard method of when you sew, you need to do at least 2 lines, maybe even 3 if your seam allowance is 1.5 centimeters, of long stitches, long like basting length stitches, and then try to pull on the bobbin thread, because the tension knot is always going to be like a fraction looser there. It's generally easier to pull the bobbin threads to gather it. But in terms of getting them even, really you need to try to split up split up the section that you're trying to gather it in. So say for example, it's like a front and back bodice. So you've got your side seams as landmarks, you've got your center front and center back. So you would have those points on the section that you're going to gather it as well. But what you could also do is find the halfway point between your side seam and your center front as well, and pin that. So then when you get the gathers into the fabric, what I usually do when I'm doing it is just, I'll get enough gathers to make my gathered section fit into the section that I'm going to make it fit, so the bodice for example, and then once I know that there's generally enough gathers there, then I'll work on teasing them out and getting them even. I always put my pins in at 90 degrees to the raw edge. I feel like it's a more accurate way to sort of keep a smaller section of fabric together, and it does just take a little bit of time and patience, but yeah, generally like splitting it up into smaller sections can really help with the evenness of it. So yeah, I hope that helps that. Okay, so over at Carrie Trousers, recommend lightweight linen. Which linen would you suggest? I would say either the viscose linen that we've got or the sorona linen would be best for that. Summer dress pattern recommendation that won't need a full bust adjustment, suitable for a beginner. Maybe I wonder if you could, maybe the Sky. It's quite loose fitting, Tilly and the Button Sky. Which linen creases the least? Probably the sorona linen, from my experience. Love to Sew podcast has just released an episode on gathers, lots of great tips. Great, good one to listen to. Channel the gathers. Is the navy blossom fabric behind you sewn into the cuff top, the assembly line? Yes, it is. That's that one there. There's pictures of it on the blog as well. You can see it there, but yeah, it's the assembly line cuff top. Did anyone else see an Instagram video saying to wind dental floss on the bobbin for gathering? Yeah, I have heard of that before. Or that you can just get a length of dental floss and do a zigzag stitch over it and then pull on the dental floss, and then that gathers it as well. Yeah, someone's saying that you can zigzag over the dental floss to gather. So yeah, there are lots of different ways to gather. I guess you just sort of find a way that works for you and then kind of stick with that, don't you? Okay, so the next question was, I have a question about the NYX blouse kit. You made a post about checking the finished garment size, and I was wondering how you choose the size going by the finished garment. how much ease should there be? So there's several parts to this question, but I think I might answer each part as you get to it. So how do you choose the size going by the finished garments, and how much ease should there be? This is going to be quite individual to the style of the pattern and how it's been designed, because some patterns are just designed to be looser and have more ease than others, so there's not going to be like a general rule there. If it's something that's more, if it's a woven garment and it's something that's more fitted and it has an opening like buttons or a zip or something, so to get it on and off, I would say you definitely want at least 2 inches of ease anyway, even if it has an opening. If it doesn't have an opening and it's something that it's a woven garment that you have to pull on and off over your head, then you're probably going to need more ease than just 2 inches. Otherwise it's going to be really hard to take it on and off if it doesn't have like some other kind of closure / opening thing. So it's worth bearing that in mind. I would say, in terms of choosing a size based off just the finished garment measurements, I personally would always look at the body size chart. I would see what size that's putting me in approximately. Clearly sometimes I'm just not, or most of the time I'm like not one size. Like usually my waist is bigger than my hips and my bust, so then I would say like, okay, roughly what sort of size am I making or might make, and then for that size I'll look at the finished garment measurements and then I'll sort of look and think, okay, well, this is how much ease there is. So, it might be that there's lots of ease at the waist, for example. So then even though on the body size chart, my waist is 2 sizes bigger, I might look at the finished garment chart and be like, oh, there's loads of ease at the waist. It doesn't matter if my waist measurement's, bigger than that size, because it's going to fit me anyway, because there's lots of ease at the waist. So it's all to do with the sort of the design and the intended amount of ease in that garment. So then going on in this question, I usually choose by the body measurements, but with all garments I end up having to remove 1 inch from the side seams at bust level. Do you know why that is? It might just be that your preference is to have clothes that are a little bit more fitted, and the garments are just designed not to be quite that fitted. So it's not that you're doing anything wrong, it's just the way that some things are designed. I re-measure myself often and the other measurements are all fine, but every time there's excess fabric under my armpits at the sides. The other thing I was actually wondering is for you to suggest to check as well is what the difference between your high bust and your full bust. So like this measurement, putting the measuring tape up around your high bust and around your full bust and seeing what the difference is. If it's 2 inches, then you're going to be around about what's called a dressmaker's B cup. And I don't want to go into detail in that because I do have quite an in-depth video and blog post all about that. It's in the article section in the Sewing Society part of the website. So if you want to know, if you don't know that much about dressmakers cup size, you want to know more, then check that out. Okay, I'd also like to know. Oh, sorry, that's the next question. Okay, I think I've answered all of that. Okay, hopefully that's answered your question. Okay, so then the next one is, I would like to know how to do the seams when sewing boiled wool. I just bought 2 meters from Tessuti for a jacket and I want to make sure I'm doing it right. It might be that maybe if you've got a walking foot on your machine, you could use that. I wouldn't say it's essential. I have definitely sewn boiled wool before, not with a walking foot, and it's been fine. You definitely want to make sure that you've got a decent steam function in your iron, that there is water in your iron so that steam is generated. Give everything a really good press after you've sewn it. Boiled wool doesn't fray, so you don't need to finish off the raw edges or anything. A clapper, a wooden clapper, can really help. We have them locally made, we sell them online as well, and that can really help to like flatten the seams out. So I would just say don't overthink it or worry about it too much, to make sure you press really well, and yeah, I'm sure you'll be fine. Okay, the next one is, if I don't have a thread colour matching my fabric exactly, is it better to go darker? So I would say that generally speaking, yes, the rule is that you would go darker, or say you're like picking a thread in a shop and you can't get like the exact shade. It tends to be going darker is better. And that I would say that the reason for that is because if you're sewing a seam with a thread and it's darker, and then say you press that seam open, and some of, you know, it might then mean that some of your stitches like start to peek through the fabric a tiny little bit in that seam. Because the seam is essentially a shadow, you want something dark in the shadow rather than something light. So that would be my reasoning there. But if you do have to do top stitching on your garment and you want to pick a thread colour that is, you know, going to look good on your fabric, then I don't know, it might not be that darker is always the best option. For the visible stitching, I think if you've got some threads at home and you're wondering what one to use, is just do a little practice and see what you aesthetically prefer the look of. I would say it would be personal preference there, but so yeah, I hope that helps. Okay, let's see if there's any questions here that I have missed. Thank you so much for answering my questions, no problem. Okay, so the next one was, I wondered if you know of a jersey tiered dress pattern. All the ones I've found are for woven fabric. Are there any jersey top patterns you think would work to hack? And what weights / type of jersey do you think would be best? Also, just to say, I love all the advice and tips you give. It's improved my sewing a lot. Well, that's excellent. Good to hear. In terms of jersey tiered dress recommendations, I did have a couple of ideas. One was, there is definitely a tutorial on Tilly's blog. I feel like it was maybe more when the Agnes pattern first came out, so it might be like a while back now, but I'm sure you can still find it. There's a tutorial on how to hack the Agnes and for it to have a gathered dress section, and then you could definitely just add more tiers, because the dress section is just going to be rectangles, so you could kind of just choose what, you know, how long you wanted each gathered section to be. And then if you wanted to keep the balance of the gathers the same on subsequent tiers, then what I would do is just make sure that you continue that down whatever ratio you're doing. So say if you're making a rectangle to be gathered into the waist seam, and maybe you make the circumference of that loop of the rectangle that you're putting onto the bodice maybe like 1.5 times what your bodice measurement is, then just do the same again then for the bottom tier, so that you're getting that sort of balance and evenness of gathers on subsequent tiers. The other option is the Friday Pattern Company Westcliff, which is like a little wrap over jersey dress, and you can see that it's got a couple of tiers, which you could, I'm pretty sure that you could alter the length of them as well. So if you wanted it to be shorter, you wanted like this tier to be shorter, this tier to be shorter, you know, you could sort of change the dimensions of them. But yeah, another option there. The Sew Over It Nomi dress, okay, a few people suggesting that as a tiered jersey dress, so that's good. That one's already. Jersey dress, try the Westcliff, it's lovely. Make it as a midi or knee length. Ellie and Max Staycation as a jersey tiered dress. Lovely suggestions, thank you everyone. Does anyone else find the waist sizes on the Megan Nielsen patterns very small? I'm a UK size 10-12, but they're Flint / Brumby. Both put my waist at a size 18. Wasn't sure if it's just me who finds this. Okay, does anybody else also find that? I've made the Empora Designs Cassie dress in jersey. It's a woven pattern but makes up brilliantly in jersey. I didn't do the bust start and straightened the side seam. Excellent. I have 1 meter of Be Happy blooms. Any recommendations for what to make with it? I actually just made an Ogden cami out of some Be Happy blooms. So you could do an Ogden cami, or you could do just like a really simple top, like the Helen's Closet Ashton, like a nice little sleeveless top. That would fit into a meter, I am sure. Okay, the next question was, please can I have some advice on pairing some fabric I have had for quite some time. I love it, but I can't decide what to make with it. It's a lovely rose patterned Liberty poplin, nice. I have 3 meters of it, so would love to make a dress. Any pattern ideas you have would be great. So there was a couple of Jennifer Lauren handmade dresses that we do the PDFs of them on the website. The Jade wrap dress and the Asteria both look nice. I think would be nice in poplin. And then the other suggestions that I brought over were these ones here. You could do the Tilly and the Button Sky would be nice, or the Stevie, just a bit more like a simple shift dress. The Lyra I think would also be nice in a poplin. The Pauline, the Closet Core Pauline, I especially like this one here. The Avid Seamstress shift dress. or the Avid Seamstress A-line dress here. So lots of different styles. Hopefully that gives you some ideas for your lovely cotton poplin. Brilliant, thank you for the pattern suggestions and tips, no problems. Okay, and then what else have we got here? Is the sorona or enzyme linen best for the Tilly and the Buttons Safiya trousers, or do you have any other suggestions? The Safiya trousers are in one of Tilly's books. They're quite a wide leg, just like a really simple trouser. You could do either. You could do the sorona or you could do the enzyme linen. The sorona is finer and it's got a little bit more sort of like floppiness and drape to it. So this is the sorona here. I'll hold up a bit so you can kind of see what it's like. This is the grape colourway. It's a bit of a smoother, flatter type of fabric. It's not as textured as the enzyme linen. And yeah, I think it's just a little bit lighter weight and will sort of swish a little bit more. Whereas if you use the enzyme linen, it will hold its structure and shape more than the sorona. So this is the enzyme linen here. It's got more of that classic sort of slubby textured feel of linen. But it does also work really well for trousers. The other option for the Safiya trousers would be the Ramie fabric, which is textured again. I would probably say it's even more textured than the enzyme linen, and it is a little bit thicker as well. So the enzyme linen and the Ramie will just hold their shape and structure a little bit more. They'll hold the fullness of that full leg, whereas the sorona linen is going to drape and swish around a little bit more. Likewise for the viscose linen, which comes in lots of plains as well. So this is the new colourway that I was talking about in the beginning. This is the pear green viscose linen. It's $14.50 a metre, and it's very floppy and swishy as well. I've used this in a different colour, but this type of fabric to make the Friday Pattern Company Saguaro set, and it's like wide leg trousers as well, and it's really lovely and swishy, very nice to wear. So I think really it comes down with the Safiya trousers as to whether you want something that's going to be a bit stiffer and hold that fullness and the shape and structure of the wide leg, or whether you want something to sort of swish and move around a little bit more. 2 or 3 sizes up is normal. It depends on positive ease. Check the finished garment measurements. Okay, that's great. That's on what size you're coming up on the Megan Nielsen, I think. By hand London Anna dress can be made with around 2.5 metres. May I ask what material your blouse is made of? It's beautiful, thank you. It's the yarn tufted Dobie cotton fabric. This one here. We've just had it back in stock again. Okay, was also going to ask about the Safiya in a self-coloured, very soft drapes for evening. Okay. The Ramie fabric is gorgeous. I got some last week and I'm really pleased with it. I've got the other colours out to show you. That's coming up as well. I miss questions if I jump around too much, so I'll stick to my order. It's on my page. Okay, the next one was, I would like to see the mid blue / light blue stretch Tencel Denim against the light blue denim 9-ounce stretch, please, if that is possible. My only difficulty with this is going to be that the rolls of the Tencel Denim are very floppy, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold them all up together, but I will try. So these ones this is the Tencel Denim. This is the fabric that we use to do the Megan Nielsen Durban jumpsuit. Oh, it feels amazing to wear. It's really nice, very, very soft. And drapey. It moves around a lot. It's nice and stretchy. It's so comfortable. That's the light blue, and then this is the mid blue. Let me just try and roll a bit back so you can sort of see the colours. That's light blue versus mid blue, and then this is the 9-ounce stretch. Oh, so hopefully can you see all the colours together there? I definitely don't think they're the same. I would say this one's like in between the other two. The Tencel ones, despite being a higher weight, as in like 10 ounces, I would say they actually practically, when you feel them, they feel like thinner and floppier because they've got Tencel in them. Whereas the other one, I'm just going to have to shove these on the floor. Can't get them back on the table. Whereas this one I actually don't think it's got a proper tag on it, so I can't read the full composition. but I'm pretty sure it's cotton with a bit of polyester in it. This just holds its shape and structure a little bit more. It doesn't flop like the Tencel, so even though it's lighter in weight, the 9 ounce, it does actually hold its shape and physically feel a little bit thicker. So hopefully that helps you to compare them. Okay, the next one is, can you advise on fabric for making a jumpsuit, please? Plain colour, needs to be smooth and not clingy as I suffer from hypersensitivity in my legs. So I would say the sorona linen that I showed before, the viscose linen, they're all very, very soft and smooth. I think they feel nice. If you're worried about texture or sensitivity, we do a swatch service, or you can also buy 10 centimeters of a fabric as well, and you'll get more of a feel of the texture and drape. So you could if you weren't sure, you could always do that, and then at least you could have a bit of fabric you could feel, or you could sort of rub it on your skin and see how you felt. But I think the viscose linen feels nice and soft. It's nice and lightweight, very cool to wear. Again, the sorona linen's nice and smooth. The other option would be the smooth drape Tencel twill, which is very smooth and soft. And I've made the Burnside bibs out of this before, which is a bit sort of jumpsuity, and it feels really lovely and smooth. Tencel does tend to be very, very silky and soft, so I think that would be a good option as well. Okay, the next one was, can you show any textured fabrics for the Fibremood Nona? I want to make a statement piece. So this is this top here. It's on the cover of the latest Fibremood magazine, and it's got this sort of frill that's within the seam that really sort of sticks out and stands out. So the textured fabrics that I do have are these ones here. I've got it in a sort of kind of a crew, sort of beigey colour, and then I've also got it in this lovely nice bright coral colour, and it's got a really gorgeous texture to it here. Hopefully the light is sort of picking that up. So it's the Coral Abstract Jacquard cotton linen fabric, 75 cotton, 25 linen, and it's 19.20 a metre. So that's quite a nice textured one. Probably won't hold the fullness of that frill quite as much as it is in that picture, but I do think it would look really nice. What I do think would also work are any of the embroidered fabrics as well. Fabrics that are embroidered tend to sort of hold their shape and structure a little bit more, so I think that could also be a nice option. This one's the denim blue cross stitch floral cotton fabric, 21.50. It's 100% cotton, and then also the this denim-y one I think would look really cool as well, with the little daisies on it. The embroidered daisy cotton chambray fabric, 17.40, and it's 100% cotton. So a few ideas there. Okay, what are some questions coming in here? Which linen or material would need the least ironing, please, for the Safiya trousers? Probably the sorona linen. I've made the Safiya in chambray and viscose linen, also cotton jersey shorts, nice. I've made the Safiya in linen and also a viscose, much prefer the viscose. I found the gathers at the back too chunky in the linen. Good to know. True bias patterns tend to be true to size. Excellent, thanks for sharing. Would the embroidered cotton work as a shirt dress? I would say that this one would, yeah. This one, I'm not so sure, because I feel like the backing fabric is quite light. For a top, I think it's okay, but for a shirt dress, I'm not so sure. But the denim one with the daisies would, yeah. Okay, the next question was pattern ideas for the embroidered edge fabric, please. That's one that we've got in a white and an off-white, and it's got a sort of scalloped embroidered edge. I would say some quite simple tops, like the Closet Corsilio, and then also we've got the, sorry, let me start again. There's also the Hadrian handmade Phoenix top, which we did as a kit last year. So you can get the video on that as well, and it was using an embroidered double gauze fabric, but the principle of using an embroidered fabric was there, so you could get the tips on how to do that. For the Phoenix is really nice. It would look nice in that, nice as the sort of beach cover up if you kind of lengthened it a little bit. Or the other idea that you could do as well is when we did the Grain Line Archer shirt as a kit earlier in the year, the video that went with that kit showed you how to put in a frill down the button band, and I think that would look really cool in the embroidered, because you can make the frill bit the scalloped edge, and that would look really quite cool. Do you think you could make the saguaro trousers as shorts? Yeah, definitely. I think that would look nice. The denim in Daisy is lovely. Would that work as a deer and doe shirt dress? Yeah, I do. I think it would. I think that would look nice. Okay, the next one was, could I make the Friday Pattern Company Saturday set in a double gauze fabric? Yeah, I think you could. I think that would look nice. Can you recommend a pattern to make a denim skirt? There's the Merchant & Mills Clementine, Tilly and the Buttons. I've written Agnes, but that's not it. What is it? Ness. The Tilly and the Buttons Ness is another denim skirt. Fibremood Nona is another one. And then I've seen a really nice version of the viscose. It's got a nice denim skirt pattern as well. So a few options there. Okay, the next question, I wasn't totally sure what this one meant, so if you're watching and I'm not answering it properly, please let me know. Best fabric to use to interline viscose jersey bodice before sewing the pieces together. So I wasn't sure whether you were maybe meaning like some sort of interfacing. We do have stretch interfacing. It comes in black and white, so you can use that to put on jersey garments, and then it will sort of stabilize the fabric, but obviously still stretch with it because it's stretch interfacing. Or if you're sort of wanting to kind of line a viscose jersey, I would probably just line it with the same fabric. Or we do a range of plain Tencel jerseys as well if you want something plain, which could work as a lining. They're really lovely and soft, feel nice against your skin. Okay, so let's see if I missed. What plain material would you suggest for the Viscose Heidi jumpsuit? It's a safari style shorts jumpsuit, nothing drapey, and possibly in khaki or similar. Yes, so you need something with some kind of structure then. I think the Ramie would look nice. So yeah, somebody was asking about seeing the other colours of the Ramie, so I'll show you that now. That's the Ramie there, which is, it's, you know, it's nice fabric for summer. It's really textured. It does have quite a bit of weight to it, hold its shape. So I think I've not seen the Heidi jumpsuit, but from what you've described, I think it might look nice. Somebody's also suggesting the Natalie skirt as a nice denim skirt. Okay, so the other colours of Ramie. So somebody wanted to see the raspberry, teal, rust, and petrol. Hopefully I've got all these colours here. That's the teal. I don't know if I've actually got the petrol here. But I do have the raspberry, teal, and the rust. These are the sort of brighter colours here. They're really nice. Nice for shorts, nice for skirts, nice for trousers. You can make like a little lightweight jacket out of them as well. I think that would be nice. So yeah, hopefully you've got some more projects with Ramie inspired now. Okay, Itch to Stitch have just done a skirt pattern which would be perfect for denim. I agree about the Itch to Stitch skirt, it would be perfect. Okay, that's good. So lots of ideas on denim skirts there. Okay, the next one was, what's the lightest cotton you have to make trousers? I like to wear trousers under tunics and dresses, but I want a very light pair, almost bloomer-like. So I've found a few that I think could work, that are very lightweight. This one here, which has got nice sort of larger scale checks woven in. Let me just get one layer so I can sort of hold it up to show you. So that's it there. I would say it's pretty lightweight. This one is the off-white Dobie Grid cotton voile fabric, 1320 metre, 100% cotton. We do also have it in a light pink and a navy and an ochre as well. And then this one here is another really lightweight one. There we go. Hopefully you can sort of get an idea of the thinness of that. Remember, we do the swatches, or you can get 10 centimetre sections as well if you want to check. Off-white, lightweight, woven check cotton fabric, 1260 a metre, 100% cotton. Or we do also have the white sorona linen, which is you know, pretty lightweight as well, probably on the thicker side compared to the other ones, but another nice one as well. So hopefully that gives you some ideas. Somebody's saying that they made the Eve trousers in the raspberry colourway. That sounds nice. I love the raspberry and teal. Yeah, they're good ones. The cotton voile is lovely. True, it is very nice. Okay, and the last question that I had here, I'm after fabric for the closet core pietra trousers. I'm thinking of navy / black / dark grey, and ideally not crease too much. So if you want something that's not going to crease too much, then this one is good. It comes in various different colours. This is the indigo bamboo blended 12 fabric. It's 49 bamboo and 49 recycled polyester, 2% spandex. It's very smooth. It doesn't crease. It says that it's anti-wrinkle on the side. I guess that'll be because of the recycled polyester content. So yeah, I would say that's a good one if you're looking for something that doesn't crease too much. But otherwise, you could definitely use the smooth drape Tencel twill that I showed you before. You could use the viscose linen, you could use the sorona linen. They would all be nice as well. Actually, I've just also found this one, which I'm trying to remember why I pulled this one out. Maybe it was in relation to the jumpsuit question. The pale blue polka Dobie chambray viscose fabric, 1670 a metre, and we've also got it in a slightly darker colourway as well. So it's got really subtle little dots woven into it. But it would be nice for a sort of swishier jumpsuit. You could make trousers with that as well. Nice versatile fabric. So yeah, I brought that one out as well, but forgot about the context of it at the time. So that was all the questions that were sent in beforehand. So thank you for sending them in and giving me things to chat about. If anybody's got anything else they want to ask before I finish up for the evening, please ask away now. Okay, somebody's saying, have you got any pink stretch fabric that might work for ginger jeans or sashes? I think the only one that I've got, I can think off the top of my head, is the needle cord. We've got pink needle cord, which I've used to make closet core ginger jeans before. I love them. Helen's also made the same one. She's suggesting that carnation needle cord is perfect for the gingers. Yeah, we do still have some of that. I can see it from here. I've still got some of that left in stock. So yeah, if you are just joining now, you joined a bit late, you can always watch back on Instagram, and then I'll also upload it onto YouTube as well, hopefully by tomorrow morning, when that'll have the timestamp chapters in it so that you can see when I answer all the questions that were sent in beforehand. Okay, somebody's asking, do you have any lightweight jersey and pattern recommendations for a light summer cardi, please? More as a cover up than warmth. So we did the Helen's Closet Blackwood cardigan as like a lighter weight cardigan in a kit. And we did one of the options for that was a medal jersey, which is quite lightweight. So we've got a really nice range of plain Tencel jerseys. You could use a cotton jersey as well, and it's quite easy to change the length of that. You could customize the length to whatever length you wanted of the Blackwood. It is a cardigan that is more of like just a sort of looser, relaxed fit. Like it doesn't cross, so it's designed not to cross over at the front. It's designed to sort of be worn open, so that's a nice one to go for. Lightweight cotton for lining a white broidery anglaise top. We usually do have some cotton voile, which could work. We do also have some of the Liberty plain Tanalon, and we've got that in like a sort of off-white colour as well. If you're quite particular about the shade, it might be worth getting a sample to make sure you're checking that you're happy it sort of matches. Because obviously different shades of white / off-white / cream can all vary quite a little bit. That spectrum's all very close together. Okay, how opaque is the white sorona linen? I'll hold it up so that you can see. It maybe is like a little opaque. It depends what you'd be making it. If you were just making a top with it, I think it would be fine. If you were, I think for trousers, I feel like it probably maybe is like a little bit too thin. So it is like a little bit opaque. Hopefully you can sort of see from that. Recommendations for Sasha trousers, more summer weight, thanks. I would say because the sashes do have some negative ease around the sort of hips and waist area, you probably don't want anything too thin, otherwise I feel like it might just cling a little bit too much. I would say the stretch cotton twill that we've got is a nice weight. I would go for something like that. We've usually got that in quite a few different colours as well. what is your lovely shirt pattern, please? It's the Fibremood Nona blouse, but I have made some modifications. I lengthened the sleeves a little bit. I think I added a couple of inches there, and I also lengthened the bodice as well. But I've got a reel that tells you all of the different modifications I did. Okay, so if nobody's got any more questions to ask tonight, then I will bid you farewell and hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. And I will see you next week. And yeah, thanks for joining me again. Let's see if there's any other last minute questions, anything else coming in before I go. Thanks for joining me, everyone.